Me 26, software dev at mid-size company. Mostly remote, but have to go in twice a week. Team is split between office and remote people. Our project manager is this woman, Sarah. Early 30s, sharp, runs meetings like a drill sergeant. I respect her honestly. She gets things done. New guy joins the team. Marcus, 28, loud laugh, always has an opinion. First day he introduces himself and says, "Oh, cool, a lady PM. That is refreshing." Sarah smiles, but her eye twitches. First team meeting, Marcus talks over Sarah twice. She lets it slide. I notice, though. The other guys do not seem to notice. Sprint planning, Sarah lays out the roadmap. Marcus says, "Have you thought about doing it this way instead?" It is literally what she just said, word for word, just said by a man. Sarah says, "Yes, that is what I just proposed." Marcus nods like he invented it. Yeah, exactly, good thinking. I am watching this unfold like a nature documentary. After the meeting, I mention it to Dave from Backend. Dave says, "Marcus is just enthusiastic." I say he repeated her exact words back to her. Dave shrugs and goes back to his sandwich. Next week, Marcus starts calling Sarah boss lady as a joke, he says. She says she prefers Sarah. He says, "Lighten up, boss lady," and laughs. Nobody says anything. I type a message to Sarah on Slack. That is pretty annoying, sorry. She replies, "Which part? There are so many." I laugh alone at my desk. Month goes by. Marcus is getting louder. Sarah is getting quieter in meetings. That is not normal for her. Something is shifting. One day we have a client call. Sarah is leading it. 5 minutes and Marcus jumps on the line. Starts answering questions directly to the client. Over Sarah. Client seems confused about who is running things. Sarah mutes herself for a second. I imagine her in her home office just staring at the ceiling. She comes back and firmly takes control. As I was explaining before, Marcus goes quiet. After the call, Slack lights up. Marcus says in the team channel, "Great work, everyone." Like he ran it. Dave reacts with a thumbs up. I sit there. I message Sarah again. "You handled that really well." She says, "I handle a lot of things really well," then sends a period. Just a period. I feel that period in my soul. Next town hall, the company announces new team lead openings. Sarah applies. Marcus also applies. He has been there 4 months. She has been there 3 years. During the panel interview, apparently Marcus says, "I think I bring a natural leadership energy to rooms." Sarah lays out a full portfolio. Case studies, metrics, team feedback scores. All documented. They give the role to Marcus. Reason given, executive presence. I read that email twice, then a third time. Sarah does not react visibly. She just keeps running sprints. Keeps her camera on in meetings. Keeps being the most prepared person in every room. I go to my manager, Linda. I ask what executive presence means exactly. She pauses. She says, "It is hard to define." I say, "Then how do you measure it?" She says she will look into it. She does not look into it. Marcus, in his new role, immediately schedules a meeting to discuss team communication strategies. The agenda is basically everything Sarah already does. Sarah is on the invite list as an attendee. In the meeting, Marcus asks everyone for input. Sarah gives a clear, structured suggestion. Marcus writes it on the whiteboard. Labels it Marcus's framework. I watch this happen live, in real time, on a video call with my eyes. I type in the chat Sarah suggested that. Marcus says, "Great minds think alike," and moves on. Sarah's camera is still on. Her face is completely neutral. She has mastered the neutral face. I have not. I start paying attention more carefully now. I notice patterns. When Sarah speaks in a meeting and pauses, someone else jumps in. When Marcus pauses, everyone waits. Same pause, different response. I mention this to my friend Tom outside work. Tom says, "You are overthinking it." I say, "I timed it." He says, "Why would you time it?" I say, "Because I wanted to know if I was crazy." He says, "I am a little crazy." Fair. I bring it up again with Linda. I frame it carefully. I say I have noticed a pattern. That female team members are spoken over more often. She nods slowly. Says she appreciates me raising it. Sends me a link to the company inclusion policy. A PDF from 2019. Good read. Marcus starts having one-on-ones with each team member. To introduce his leadership vision, he meets with the men first. By the time he gets to Sarah, it is week 3. She has been carrying the team for 3 weeks with no direction meeting. I ask Marcus casually how the one-on-ones are going. He says, really getting to know the guys. I say, what about Sarah? He says, oh yeah, her too. She is great, very passionate. He said passionate. I look up what passionate means in workplace feedback research. Turns out it is a word used disproportionately to describe women, often as a soft negative, implying emotion over logic. I screenshot this. I do not know why I am collecting evidence. I am just collecting evidence. Sprint review comes around. Sarah has the highest delivery rate on the team. Every ticket closed, every deadline met. Marcus presents the team stats. Says, we had a strong quarter list names. Dave, Tom, me, a few others. Does not say Sarah's name. She is sitting right there. Sarah raises her hand. Not literally, uses the raise hand feature. Marcus goes, yep, Sarah? She says, I just wanted to note my tickets are all in the done column. Marcus says, yes, the whole team did great. She puts her hand down. I watch her mute herself. She stays muted for the rest of the meeting. I message her after. That was not okay. She takes a while to reply. Then she says, I know. Then she says, but what do I do with that? I do not have a good answer. I sit with that question for a while. Few weeks later, Sarah starts job hunting. She does not tell anyone officially, but I can tell. She updates her profile. She is more careful in meetings now, protective of her energy. I recognize that behavior. My sister did it before she quit her last job. I decide to say something to Marcus directly, not aggressive. Just honest. I catch him after stand-up. I say, hey, do you think Sarah gets a fair amount of airtime in meetings? He looks at me like I asked him if clouds exist. Yeah, totally. She talks plenty. I say, she talks and then gets talked over. He says, that happens to everyone. I say, does it happen equally? He thinks about it. He genuinely thinks about it. Then he says, I mean, probably. I let it go. I do not have the energy to handhold a grown man through pattern recognition. But something about saying it out loud felt important. Like at least one person in that office named the thing. Sarah gets an offer. She tells me in a DM. Senior PM role at a bigger company. She asks if I think she should take it. I say, do they have a Marcus? She says, unclear. I say, then yes. She laughs for the first time in weeks. I can tell by the haha, it has a different weight. She gives 2 weeks' notice. Marcus announces it to the team. Says she is pursuing exciting new opportunities. Says she was a great team player. She ran this team. She kept it alive through 2 failed launches and a reorg. Team player. Going away drinks are awkward. Marcus gives a toast. He thanks her for her contributions. Uses the word bubbler. She is not bubbler. She is precise. She is not the same thing. Sarah gives a short speech. She thanks the team. She makes eye contact with me and gives a small nod. I nod back. It means something. I'm not sure exactly what, but it means something. She leaves. Marcus hires her replacement within a week. A guy named Brett, same level, negotiated a higher salary. I know because Brett told me on his first day. He was not embarrassed about it. Just mentioned it like weather. I sit with that for a long time. Same role, same responsibilities, less experience, more money. Because Brett asked and Sarah did not know to ask differently? Or was told no when she did? Or both? Probably both. I think about the word passionate again. I think about executive presence. I think about team player. I think about a period at the end of a Slack message. I think about Sarah muting herself. I do not have a thesis. I do not have a movement or a manifesto. I just watch something happen slowly, over months. In Slack messages and meeting replays, in pauses and promotions and going away toasts. And the part that stuck with me most was not the big moments. It was how normal it all looked. From the outside. Just a regular office, just regular people, doing regular things. And somehow that is the scariest part. Be me. Still at the same company. Brett is okay actually. He is just Brett. Not the problem, but part of the furniture. I still time the pauses in meetings, old habit now. Data I do not know what to do with, except notice. And maybe that is where it starts, just noticing, out loud, to the person next to you. MFW, the system is not a villain, it is just 1,000 small normal things that nobody individually means to do, but together add up to a woman, quietly updating her resume. In the middle of a sprint, she is still running, anonymous,